as you guys are likely aware, we have been covering for almost a month the arrest of the ex-Muslim, secular, feminist, atheist activist Zara Kay. So we have another update to bring to you guys. For all the latest updates on Zara's case, please always refer to the Council of Ex-Muslims of Britain. They are the source to go to. So the fifth update is that we need the Australian government to step up in their action to secure Zara's safety and bring her home. But actually, let me get into the description I wrote. Atheist Republic is reiterating its call upon the Australian government to prioritize and work urgently to ensure the safe return of atheist activist Zara Kay. Zara, the founder of the Australian charity Faithless Hijabi, was detained in Tanzania on trumped-up charges on the 28th of December 2020 and held for 32 hours. Since being bailed, Zara has had to report to the police station every single weekday until the 11th of January. Now she has had to report sporadically. Over 3 weeks since her initial detainment, there has been no court date or no movement towards a resolution of her case. The continued and unnecessary delays raise serious concerns regarding Zara's safety. The Australian government has a duty to protect its citizens abroad. So here is where I am making a call to action upon you guys, our audience, and our community. So the call to action is you can help Zara by contacting the Australian authorities and demanding that they step up their advocacy for Zara Kay. Australian citizens should be able to rely on their government to help them fight judicial harassment when overseas. So in the description, where you see all of the news that we're covering today, you see on the first news, update for Zara Kay, and then it says help Zara, and then a link. That link is to the second update that CEMB did on Zara, and that second update contains the contact information for Australian authorities in basically every major country. So if to make things easier for you, I provided an easy way to find the way to contact Australian authorities to alert them to the urgency of Zara's situation. I have been personally very disappointed in their lack of advocacy for Zara, and maybe I'm being too harsh, but what it has appeared to me as kind of a hands-off approach. Emphasis on appears to me, okay?
Yeah, they might be doing things behind the scene that we don't know, but because we can't know, we're gonna assume that they're not, and then shame them, and then say, "Oh, okay, I guess you were." If we are proven otherwise, it's better to assume that what we see is what we get, and tell them, like, what the hell, Australia? Why are you not doing anything? This is your citizen, and you're supposed to, as a government, be protecting your citizen. And then if later we realize that they were doing so much behind the scenes that we don't know, they were like, oh, okay, I guess that's, but we can't just assume that and not push the government right now and tell them, like, what's the point of, like, what is the worth of an Australian citizenship if you can't rely on the government to come and defend you when you're in trouble, right? Like, this is so pathetic, embarrassing to every Australian. Every Australian should be like, every Australian should be like, okay, so what's the, like, is this how my government will protect me? If I'm in trouble? And another, like, is this like, every time your citizen is in trouble, this should become an opportunity for your government to demonstrate the value of the citizenship and how far this government will go to protect the people that is meant to protect. It should become, like, make it a model for a bragging right for future. Like, look at what we have done. Look at what it means to be an Australian citizen or whatever citizen, right? And every time they fail, every single citizen of that country should be like, I guess you guys don't give a crap about it. Like, I guess there's not much value. Like, you could, if you're, for example, an American citizen, you can know, like, yeah, my government really comes after anybody who lays a hand on me, like if I'm outside of the country. And I guess you Australians, I guess, like, you don't get that from your government. I guess your government doesn't care as much as for you guys as much as my government does. Like, that should become something that people brag about and something that people shame their government for if the government doesn't come and protect them when they need them.
If you want to look at it very strategically, it's an excellent marketing opportunity. Hara Sultan here, who is an Australian citizen himself, is saying there is no worth in being an Australian citizen. Dang.
Dang, okay.
I wouldn't say no worth, but
yeah, but at this moment, let's just, like, it's okay to right now.
We can be upset.
We can exaggerate a bit because it's right now we're like, we need our friend out of Tanzania ASAP. Okay.
Exactly. And here's the deal, you guys. It's in 5 days. She will have dealing with this situation for a month. There is basically, yes, wow, she was. Today is the 23rd. She was arrested on December 28th. 28th.
Yeah. Wow.
It's almost a month of this BS where they still have not levied like hard official charges against her. They're just working to pin something on her. She has to continue to report to the police station now sporadically, about once a week, but nothing is moving forward. If they can pin something on her, I believe, okay, I'm no lawyer, that you have, according to Tanzanian law, you're supposed to be charged within 48 hours. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but that's my understanding. That's, that procedure hasn't been honored. She's just in this limbo where there's nothing that's moving forward. And the Australian government isn't taking hard enough actions to help her leave the country because they have her passport and she can't leave. She can't return to Australia. While they judicially harass her. If she did violate these laws, charge her for it. If she's charged, in most of these, the worst punishment is a fine. Okay? A fine or like potentially up to a year in prison, which is ludicrous. Okay? But I believe that punish or sentencing is for the SIM card law. It does not appear that they are pursuing that line of charges as heavily. They seem to be pinning it on the passport thing, which is basically a technicality at this point because of various changes to the Tanzania passports. They're just harassing her judicially. It's insane.
So, just to be clear, so Kushik is saying Tanzania is not Muslim, still blasphemy. There is an Islamic group in Tanzania that some people are reporting that is responsible for this harassment. There is no blasphemy law, and some people criticize us for saying we didn't say ever that this was because of blasphemy. The only thing that there was Ahmed Mehta had it in his title. That it was for blasphemy, and when we post news articles on our Facebook page, we just use the title of whoever wrote the article. We ourselves here at Atheist Republic never said, because we can't prove that this is for anything about her activism or anything, and we didn't claim it. But we do have suspicions that it might be because of her activism, because of this Islamic group in Tanzania. In any case, whether it is for that or not, this is like extreme harassment for something that is not that big of a deal, and we do suspect that do you want to talk, Susanna, about that group that mentioned, and the group that more about that than me?
Yeah, so we have credible on the ground, and by we I mean the larger group of people who are working to ensure Zara's safety, who I affectionately call Zara's Defenders. This is not an official name. We have credible information that her former community, known as the Koja Shia Ithnasheri Jamaat group, has incited these charges against her. Or not, well, there isn't even a full-blown charge yet. Just they have incited this judicial harassment, I should say. They've threatened her life in the past while she was in Tanzania for the previous 2 months. 2 months before her arrest, there were various things going on in the ground where they were harassing her. They made it very clear that they did not like Zara being back in Tanzania. And this seems to have been an escalation of that. So although Tanzania is a Christian majority country, it's a secular country. The demographics are Christian majority. I've been told, I don't know how true this is, but I've been told that this Koja Shia Ithnasheri Jamaat community is, while a minority, very influential in the country. I need to learn more about that, but more than one person has communicated that to me, that this is actually, while a minority, a powerful community.
Yeah, but I just want to clarify that if we do, we sometimes do make mistakes, and if we did make a mistake in Atheist Republic, and we do try to figure it out and come and correct it. But when it comes to Zara Kay, we didn't claim anything. I mean, with this news, anything that didn't happen. Like, there's no, like, even if we suspect is because of this group, we say that we're suspected. We have reason to believe. We don't say it's definite. We don't say it's certain. We didn't say it was for blasphemy. Again, there are some Muslims that keep trying to act like we misreported something, and we never did. They just, we were very careful to make sure that we put out exactly what the people that are very heavily involved in this case are telling us, that what we know and what we don't know. We only shared the information. There were some other people from some other groups that wanted to go out guns blazing and say a whole bunch of crap that wasn't even proven yet. Zara Kay herself, at the moment, may have said some things on Twitter while she was being arrested, which is may or may not be true. But again, holding somebody to a standard of journalists and activists, outside of, like, when they're not holding Zara and that situation to that standard, is absolutely ridiculous. The people that, like, Council of Ex-Muslims of Britain, have been very responsible at reporting it the way that they should be reporting it, and some other groups as well. A lot of activists around this news have been very responsible at making sure that they put out the information that they're supposed to be, and not put information that they don't know if it's going to put Zara at greater risk than she needs to be. So the entire process around highlighting this has been very good by most people. Some people really effed up, and it's good that we know that who they are, so that we don't collaborate with them in the future. Some people leaked. Yasmin Mohammed leaked some information that she shouldn't have, and we now know. And her. No, I just wanted to just quickly add that, and her apology showed that she didn't understand why she did wrong, so we know not to work with her anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to. And one other thing is, so going forward, we're going to learn a lot with how to deal with situations like this when an activist is in trouble. And one last thing I want to mention is that we will most often, when there is an ex-Muslim or an atheist or a secularist activist in trouble, and we need to go help them, in most cases, we're not going to have 100% certain information about what's happening before. And if we wait for that, then we can't do anything. Like, most cases we should be ignoring. Like, every time a secular or an atheist or an ex-Muslim activist gets in trouble somewhere around the world, and you guys like, well, we can't move forward unless we know 100% sure what happens. Most of the time we're not going to be 100% sure what's happening. So that will we have to move forward with helping people, even if we're not 100% sure. We just have to be careful about how we word it and say like, it's likely this, we have reason to believe, it has been reported, rather than claiming that we're certain about what's happening. So the reporting, the language that we use is more important in this situation, rather than telling us to don't do anything until you're 100% sure. That's unreasonable. But go on, Susanna, you want to say something?
Yeah, so a lot of people may be familiar with various drama that happened regarding the leak of certain confidential information from Zara's defense team. And I would just like to say, guys, like I understand like the desire to talk about a lot of this, but what's most important right now is getting Zara home safe. And one of the things that is most problematic about all that drama that happened is that it detracted from getting Zara home safe. Days were spent cleaning up that mess that could have been spent furthering and progressing Zara's situation. So, well, personally, I still have a lot more that I would like to say about what happened there. I'm not touching that until Zara's home safe, and I hope other people prioritize that as well. So people are asking in the chat, what can we do to help? Like I said below, there is a link that I put in the description just called Help Zara. In that link, it provides contact information, people you can tag on Twitter, on Facebook, etc., of Australian authorities that you should politely demand to increase their involvement in this situation. But Rivka, do you have anything to add? Welcome to the show, my dear.
Hi. Just a couple things. So I'm agreeing with what you're saying about the way you proceed is important and not to waste time, because the ultimate goal is to bring Zara back. We can deal with other things once that's occurred. But I also wanted to mention the sample letter to Australian government that you and I had come up with, because people have contacted me and wanted to know, well, what should I write or how should I? So we have sort of a template, which I think we can put on maybe the Help Zara page. It's also on mine, the Kent Community Secular Alliance page. So that gives you sort of a sense of how you want to word it. It's short, it's to the point. You could use it, you could not use it, but it might help for people to see something like that.
All right, we spent so much time on this first thing, so we should probably
Suha provided the link here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Saint Suha.
Saint Suha, our saint, our very own saint. And also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy of Where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free. It's not even promotion. It's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, like, I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.